Hello, everybody. This is Bassam El Shammaa, historian and a lecturer guide. Some information about Cleopatra the Seventh. First of all, I would like to correct the way how we pronounce the name of this Greek Macedonian Ptolemaic queen. Her name is Cleopatra, not Kilobatra, and not Cleopatra. I go with you now through some info which I gathered from very reliable sources. How did the historians, especially the ancient ones, looked at this lady? Pliny the Elder, Pliny is spelled P-L-I-N-Y, Pliny the Elder described her as a Regina Meretrix, Meretrix. Regina is a queen, means a queen. Meretrix means a harlot. So she is a harlot queen, according to Pliny the Elder. الملكة الفاحشة أو الملكة الزانية. Dio Cassius, one of the famous Roman historians, described her as a woman of surpassing beauty. But the Greek biographer Plutarch, about a century after Cleopatra's death, wrote, "For her beauty, as we are told, was in itself not altogether incomparable, nor such as to strike those who saw her." He also mentioned that she had irresistible charm, persuasiveness, and a sweet voice with stimulant presence. She was also described by him, Plutarchus, as she had persuasiveness, from the word or the term to persuade, يقنع. Many of the articles coming from very reliable sources said that she liked Homerus, the famous Homerus, and she wrote in medicine, in cosmetics, and in pharmaceuticals, and she also wrote in toxicology. Unfortunately, none of these writings reached us. But that only makes sense because the Romans probably destroyed what their hands can reach concerning her possessions, as she was, of course, the public enemy number one to them. Cleopatra the Seventh married both her adolescent brothers as a ceremonial spouse. Ptolemy. The 12th, Euletus, the flutist. Her father made her as the coming queen, but under the condition that she would put with her on the throne her young brother. So she was a co-regent and a ruler of Egypt. But then, of course, we learned about how she participated in killing those two brothers, and also probably participated in the death of Arsinoe or Arsinoi, her sister. She spoke a dozen languages. She was an educated lady. She was educated in oratory, philosophy, astronomy, and she was, of course, involved in politics since young age, as her father, who probably looked upon her as his favorite from all his sons and daughters, took her around and made her travel with him during his political times. As for the looks, if indeed we will take the looks of the coinage that she was depicted on and the statues, which none of which is depicted with her name originally. For me, in the last 40 years of reading history, I did not encounter any statue of a 100% proof of the likeness or the ownership of Queen Cleopatra VII. Meaning, I didn't find any statue that I can say comfortably, with no doubt, and beyond the shadow of doubt, that this is the statue of Queen Cleopatra VII coming from her own time. If you look at any of the statues of Cleopatra in the famous museums like Berlin and the Vatican and others, you will always read, probably this is the statue of Cleopatra VII. Probably, likely, this is the head statue of Cleopatra VII. But if we're going to take this, then her hair melon style, that is actually the description of her hairstyle in most of her statues or coinage, if indeed they were genuine, and if indeed they were made in the form as well as in the days of Cleopatra VII herself. Her hair, melon style, M-E-L-O-N,